fighter named Myron Dennis. He was fourth in the world in kickboxing. I had a bare knuckle fighter by the name of Tom Show. We fought for the bare knuckle championship December the 3rd of 2022. And now my son, Elijah Pierce, is currently ranked 9th in the world, and he's on his way down. So hopefully soon we'll be fighting for a world title as well.
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
My name is Andy Pierce, better known as Coach P. I'm a boxing coach. I've been a boxing coach for about 21 years. I've trained some really good fighters. One such as Grady Brewer out of Lawton, Oklahoma. He won the NABF world title up under me, the IBC world title up under me. I had a fighter named Myron Dennis. He was fourth in the world in kickboxing. I had a bare knuckle fighter by the name of Tom Show. We fought for the bare knuckle championship December the 3rd of 2022. And now my son, Elijah Pierce, is currently ranked 9th in the world, and he's on his way down. So hopefully soon we'll be fighting for a world title as well.
Wow, that's a great resume. The last time we saw was when Elijah went to Tulsa for sparring before his August 4th fight. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Elijah's last fight?
His last fight, I thought it was a really good fight. I thought it was probably one of his easiest fights that he's ever had. And the reason why I say that, because it wasn't as physical as some of his other fights. It was more of an IQ fight.
Mental?
It was more of a mental fight. The guy came out really hard, really reckless. He was trying to knock him out. He was trying to make a point. And most of the time when I see people are doing that, their focus is one thing, in one place, and it's not all where it needs to be. So when I seen his focus on being offensive, I knew that he was gonna lack a focus in defense. And I thought that was an optimal chance for Elijah to land a good shot. So basically, after the first round, he was a little shooken. He said, "Daddy's coming in really aggressive. What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Well, he's laying it right in our hands." I said, "He's coming out really aggressive." I said, "Just continue to pay blossom for a little while." And he did. And so the round went really well. The guy kind of thought that he had won the round and made him a little more excited. And I said, that was the second round. I said the third round, I said, now I need you to be a little more aggressive. Get really aggressive, get him on the back of his heels to the point where he feel like he's losing the round, and then he will try harder to gain back control of the round, and which he did, and that left himself open because he got really reckless trying to get control back of the round, which is what I wanted him to do. And now, so it turned out perfect.
Do you think he was gonna get up? Wasn't gonna get up?
Most of the time, when I see fighters when they're kind of dazed, I can tell he was hurt. A lot of fighters, when they get hit really good, they're not really hurt. They're just not really sure where they're at or what they're doing. They don't know where they're at, because the balance is off and everything. He was hurt. He was hurt. He was holding his face like the punch hurt his face. So I didn't really think he was gonna get up. I wasn't for sure, but I didn't really think he was gonna get up.
But the shot, it wasn't like a heavy, it was like a quick, like a needle.
Well, what we do, we call it a quick two. It's a quick two. He threw his backhand shot, and he turned it over, and he screwed it in real tight, real hard. It had no fat on it. It was as lean as a punch could come. And he ran into it as well. He was moving forward, and so he ran into the shot, which intensified the shot as well.
Wow. So the Oklahoma, when we talk about boxing in Oklahoma City, are you happy with the state that we are right now at the moment?
To say I'm happy, I probably wouldn't say I'm happy or content with it. I think that it could be better. I think the coaches probably could work a little bit better together. Uh, uh, the pool of fighters in Oklahoma City is small, uh, so we don't have a lot of options. And I think the coaching needs to be sharpened up. No disrespect to any coach, but uh, we really don't have any pro level coaches here. Most of the coaches here, since boxing is not a boxing state, are amateur coaches. Most of the time, when an amateur wants to go pro, he really has nowhere to go except to his amateur coach. But the amateur, it's hard for that amateur coach to take you to the next level because they don't have the experience. I've been on the higher level, on the world-class level for quite some years. I've had the experience, and it's been attested in the fighters that I've trained. Some of these guys hadn't had that experience, and so it's hard for them to take a fighter to a different level than where they already were. And now I have seen some that has turned pro, and they have the same regiment as they did was they was an amateur. When I feel like the regiment should be much more intense and very different, more structured, and I see that lapse.
So as a coach, what's the first thing you see in the fighter that makes you think he could take it to the next level? Like, what's the, say, in football, right? They have scouts, right? That goes all around to look for football player. So when you see a fighter, what are those things that you see that you feel like, man, if I work on him, he could, be at that high level elite?
Well, since boxing is a physical sport, you do look at the physical abilities, the speed, timing, being able to recognize certain things. And is his reaction time fast? Is it fast? Is it slow? We look at other things like that. But then there's also a mindset, a particular mindset that we look for. Does he have discipline? The character trait of being motivated. Is he focused? I've seen fighters lose focus in the ring, out the ring, in everyday living. They lose focus. Life gets in the way, and they can't stay focused on what they need to be doing. Discipline is a big thing. It's easy to lose that discipline. Life gets in the way, like I said, all the time. And then I guess what would be another one I would say would be those are the main ones that those character traits that you need to have. If you have those, then you recognize that it's probably gonna be a pretty good fighter if he have those qualities.
Do you see those qualities in Elijah when he was younger? Or what did you see?
I seen his physical ability first.
Okay.
I noticed he was very agile with his hands.
Fast?
He was fast. I put some little gloves on him one time and had him to punch my hands and stuff, and he punched it really fast. And he punched pretty intense. They were pretty intense. He wasn't hitting like a little kid like that. He was actually throwing punches. And I was like, man, where he get some punches, throw some punches like that? I was like, wow. So, we've always had a really, really good relationship, and he was always very responsive to me and what I would ask for, and so I could easily guide him because he trusted me in so many different facets of, me being his father or whatever, and he would always do what I asked him to do, and that's how it kind of took off. I would request for some things to do. Hey, punch this bag, do this, and he always done what I asked him to do, and before you know it, the magic just started to happen. He kind of started to enjoy it. He liked the response that he got when we would show people what he could do and how he could hit the bag, and so I can tell he was enjoying it. And so we just continued, and this is where it landed us from this point.
Wow. So at what point do you switch it up like that? I know you're enjoying it, but this is about to be like, because you was talking about intensity. At what point do you turn it off and it's like, okay?
Well, when he started competing, he realized that he had to get in shape. And things had to be more intense. Because he knew when he boxed somebody, the fight was going to be intense. The person was going to actually try to hurt him or knock him out or whatever the case may be. So he had to be intense. The intensity didn't really turn up until he went pro, because as an amateur, you only go 3-round matches. And so when he turned pro, it went from 4 rounds to 6 rounds to 8 rounds to now 10 rounds. So we had to turn up the intensity and longevity of the runs, the level of practices. We had to stay in the gym much longer because we had to get more things done. And it is eventually, just over time, your body will make those adjustments, and you'll get to the level that you need to be on.
So as a coach, the amateur fight, is it more of strategy or just physical? Because they only have 3 rounds, right? And most time, for me, I don't know. How do you think, is it more of strategy or just physical fight?
Well, it's not a lot of time to do a whole lot of strategy, because it's hard for you. As a pro, you get to watch videos on who you're fighting, and you can develop a strategy against them. And you have many rounds to be able to do that. Amateurs, many a times you don't know who you're fighting, so it's almost like you gotta have a lot of knowledge. It had to be a wide span of knowledge. When you're a pro, you can narrow it down, because you may know a lot, but I can have a toolbox, and I can have 50 wrenches in it, but I already know on this part, this alternator I'm gonna take off, I'm only gonna need 4 of them. So I can just take the 4 out of the box and shut the box up, because I'm only gonna use 4 of them. That's kind of like amateur is. Pros is. When you become a pro and you watch videos on person, some of this stuff you're not gonna even need to worry about training on, because you know what you need to beat that particular guy.
Right.
In the amateurs, it's a little bit tougher, because you don't know who you're fighting. You don't know if he's tall, you don't know if he's short, you don't know if he's a brawler, you don't know if he's a boxer. You don't really know what kind of fighter he is. If he's a left hand, right hand. So you don't get to practice on him. So you have to keep a wide variety of information in your brain, and have to be able to access that information.
So which one is more easier, pro or amateur fight?
Well, I don't know if it's easier. Amateurs is probably more complex in. There's 2 types of fights.
Okay.
There's the known fight, and there's an unknown fight. The known fight is something like boxing or MMA or karate or whatever. It's a fight that you know about and you can prepare for.
Right.
The unknown fight is the fight that happens in the drop of a dime. You could be out with someone, and all of a sudden, somebody step on your shoe or waste you or call your name or whatever, and you end up in a fight. That's an unknown fight.
Right.
The unknown fights are usually more nerve-wracking, or because you'd be a little more nervous because you're not prepared for it. You're not dressed for it. You don't know who's with that person. You don't know. It just popped up out the clear blue sky. That's an unknown fight. The known fight, once again, like I said, is like boxing, whatever. It's a predetermined date. You already know the date. Hey, we're gonna fight on this day. I'm fighting this person. So you're a little bit more comfortable because you're a little bit more prepared.